Japanese toolbox was made very, very rudimentary when it first began, a long time ago, hundreds. They're finding toolboxes 150 years old, and they didn't have good wood. They were just made with what wood they had. They were made with hand tools, with a saw and a hammer. Most of the guys, when you see pictures of them making them way back when, they were on the ground, you know, wedging the wood between their feet. They didn't have tape measures, so what they would do is they go, yeah, my toolbox needs to be about that big for my saw. So they cut their first piece. That piece then went down for the other side and the bottom, and then they go, and I want it about that wide, and they would cut that. I mean, they just didn't use tape measures. We have tape measures to use because we're going to use tape measures. All right. So, and I bought not pristine wood because we couldn't afford to do that, but I did get some really nice 1x12 pine, and this is. Does everybody know what SPF is?
Spruce pine fir.
Spruce pine fir. In other words, they don't have a clue and they don't care to identify it. They just put SPF on it, and you get what you get. So this looks like spruce to me. You can see the difference in the pine and the spruce. One's a little bit more yellowed. Spruce doesn't yellow like pine does. So I wanted something nice for the sides and the bottom of the box, and so I got that. And it's going to make a really nice box. It's going to be in between these two sizes. So our box is going to be 12 inches wide bottom and 10 inches high is there. So we're going to mill this down for a couple of reasons. One, we don't want a heavy toolbox, and two, boards aren't perfect anymore. So there's some warps and there's some twists. And if the thinner you get it, the easier it is to get that stress. We want this thing to look fun. So we have cut nails. So everybody knows what a cut nail is?
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to pass one on each side then. What they would have used a long time ago, they would have used cut nails. The problem with cut nails is you must orient the nail in the direction of the grain. So if you look at the head of that, it's shorter on one side than it is the other. So the long side of the nail is going to be the grain. If you turn that and try to hammer that in with the nail this way, and the grain will split. All right. We're also going to pre-drill when we get into situations like this. Okay, so when we're nailing on this piece here, we're going to pre-drill these holes with a small bit, and that will stop splitting as well. Cut nails don't work well along the edge. In the old Japanese toolboxes, they didn't care. Because if the wood split, they just rip it off and put another piece on it. All right? So, and you can use cut nails two, you can use one on here because we're going to be gluing this on. So it's this kind of is like decoration at this point with four nails in one little piece, but it's fun to see it. So when we get to that point, we can all decide whether we want a locking piece or whether we just want to drop the board in and lock it by sliding it back. This is kind of an after. This was quite a few years before they started putting in these locking pieces. Most of the time, the lid just set it in and lock it. So the board that goes on here is the distance away, so you can do this. That's all. All right. And did everyone get a chance to see the big box with the drawers inside?
Yes.
So that's something you can do down the road if you want to at home. This is going to end up being my bonsai box when I get this done, and I'm going to actually burn our decal, the bonsai symbol on the top with the typography when I get a chance to do that. And so all of my wire and big tools and stuff will be down below, and then all of my cutters and pruners will be up in the top drawers. That way, if I'm working on a tree, I can just say, okay, I want this set of pruners now, and go over to where I'm working. And it makes it really simple. You got a carrying device instead of having a tool roll or whatever. So it's kind of fun to add the drawers in it if you want.
good.
All right, so if everyone can turn and look. Okay, you each got a clamp delivered to you courtesy of River. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to line up. You've got a strap 9 3/4 inch piece. That's going to go down at the bottom of your end. And you're going to line up and clamp this in place. You'll put your nails in 1, 2, 3, 4. So the clamp should be right in the middle so your nails aren't involved in where the clamp is, right? And you're gonna flip this up, by the way. So this, I can't do it here because we got too much, well, maybe I can. All right, when I build them, I don't use clamps. So what I do is I hold this nice and flush. I've got my glue on it. I'm gonna put my nails in. I'm gonna get my top nail in, then I'm gonna hold this on and get where this is supposed to be, and I'm gonna put that nail in. And then I can do the other two. If you want to use the clamp, you can. Okay, it's up to you. But there's one more thing we have to do before we get to this stage. Okay, so we need to put a line down this board so that we know where to put our nails. There's a number of ways we can do that. We can use a ruler and a pencil and measure what it is, or we can use a marking gauge. Does everyone know what a marking gauge is? Yes. No one knows what this marking gauge is because no one has the money to buy this marking gauge. This is a stainless steel.
I've seen it in the catalog.
That's right. There's stainless steel marking gauge. So you can set this, so you would make your mark on your toolbox where you want that to be, and I believe the instructions tell you 1 1/8. You make a mark, you would set this, set it on the mark, tighten this down, and then score right along your bend. Now that leaves a mark. Some guys like doing that and they'll leave that mark in there. They won't sand it out. It just shows it was hand done. So what you're going to do is you're going to take and orient how you're going to like to have it, what you want inside, what you want outside. These are your end pieces, right? And you're going to take one of these pieces you just cut and you're going to put it on the top. And what that becomes is this. Okay, it's your handle. Right, so make sure when you're nailing it on that you're flush. I mean, this, feel how perfect that is? You are. Okay, so, and then, but think about this, it's like when you're planning anything, you want to look at what's the best way. So here's a little nodding here. Do I want to see it? Don't I want to see it? So if I don't want to see it, I'm going to bury it, right? If I do want to see it, I'll keep it up. So just really look at your piece. This is definitely an inside, really clearly an inside, and it's a down because you don't want your handle going across there. So that's very pretty, like this with the knots, and then this being your top. All right. You're going to be using the Festool drills. This drill is $600. You'll use it and you'll go, I don't know, it seems just like my Bosch at home.
It's nice and light.
Or my Mastercraft or whatever, right? But they're brushless. They're pretty amazing motors. So now, all of these cut nails are 1 1/4 inch, and we've got 5/8 and 5/8. So what does that add up to? 1 1/4 inch. So you're gonna feel a little bit of the tip probably come through if you whack it too hard. But what they do in Japan, if they use 1.5 inch cut nails and they turn it over and bend it, right? Because they don't use glue, right? We're using glue, so we're gonna use the 1 1/4 inch nails and we're gonna knock them in, and you might feel a little tiny bit on the inside, but it's not gonna be critical to worry about. So when you're doing these nails, you can do one. It's all up to you how many nails you have in here. You can just put one nail there and there. Or you could put one nail there, one nail there, one nail there. You'd have 3. But if you're gonna be near your edge, you gotta use the drill. Other thing you can do, let me just show you this before, you don't have to worry about this. Okay, so look everybody over here at Joe's. Okay, so if I want to make sure that I'm going to catch this in exactly the same place it is up there, I take a piece of wood that's the same thickness, I lay it on the edge, make sure that it's flush, and make a pencil line like that, so that when I set this up, there's where I've got to be. Then you don't have to worry about fiddling with this.
Right, right.
All right? Oh, Joe, that was perfect.
Awesome, awesome.
It's because this is going to shrink a little on you
Yeah.
in time, and then and that little bit of shrinkage is going to be the perfect fit.
Right, so no planing just yet, just.
No, don't. Yeah, I wouldn't. You live with it.
Nice.
Because you can always take it out.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. Okay.
So Paul, before I go further,
Fantastic.
that's right.
Yep.